You know what? If you want to speak into a mic, it helps. One, if you've got the mic right in front of you, and two, if it's switched on. I just said hello, everybody, and the mic was like somewhere over here. Anyway, how's it going? We are back. It feels like I've not done any FPL stuff for ages. It feels like months and months, even though it's only been like a week. Obviously, still have videos going out on the channel, but I've been away. So they've been scheduled, pre-scheduled, pre-recorded. So I've recorded another video today, actually, which will be out tomorrow. And hopefully you can hear me okay. My headphones are a bit busted. So hopefully it's just my end that you can't hear me. Anyway, how's it going? FPL Audit, first one you've caught live in a while. To be fair, there's only been 3 pre-seasons, so you're not missed too much. All viewing records will get broken today. All viewing records will get broken next Thursday, for sure. Although it's a bit crazy that we're already on 243 viewers before the stream's even started. So, thanks for that. Have I been lifting weights? Not enough. Been slacking, been on holiday. Got back from Spain on Tuesday. Very nice break, but itching to get back to the FPL stuff. Physio Adam Matthew, how's it going? Good to see you as always. You need a paracetamol, FPL headache. Ouch. It's only going to get worse for this next week. I'm not going to lie to you. Some stuff will get easier. Community Shield, for example, will give us a lot more info into who's going to play from those sides. Man City and Chelsea. But you'll get to the point where you'll have to finalise your team and that will hurt. Hurt your head. Firmino and Aubameyang or Vardy and Aguero. Yeah, we'll get on to the questions soon. Will I be answering Twitter DMs? Not if they rate my teams, which most of them are. I've actually been tempted just to turn DMs off, but we'll see. If I'm going to answer anything, I'd rather do it publicly. If it's something that has to be done privately, fair enough, DM. But if you just DM me, rate my teams, not going to get a reply. What would I do if you walked into my house and got me with an RKO? I'd get your signature, Randy Orton. Afterwards, obviously. I mean, not during the RKO. Has this stream just started? Yes. So the reason I've not got my main screen yet is because there's a bit of an announcement to make, which I hinted to. Nearly 300 people watching already. Okay, maybe the record will be broken tonight. We'll see. Little announcement to make. So, obviously, the stream's been growing and growing. Channel's been growing and growing. My goal, I actually wrote down some goals on my phone. One of which was to get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of this season. And as we are looking right now, let me see. We're on 13,776. So, potentially going to get 15,000 before the start of the season. But anyway, I digress. Obviously, popularity's been growing and stuff. So, I've been able to basically get a sponsor for the streams. Which is awesome for 2 reasons. One, obviously, you guys watching. I know I say this all the time, but loads of you have been watching since day one or since the start of last season all the way through. So, obviously, all that support's really helped this happen. And 2, because the first sponsor is something that I kind of believe in and use and have done for 8+ years, which I can provide proof of later. But so I've got a tiny little video to play. Most of you would have probably heard of this. If you haven't, well, you're about to find out. That's right, Fantasy Football Scout. Are we getting prizes? Good point. No, I hadn't thought of that. But yeah, Fantasy Football Scout have kindly sponsored the stream. The URL, if you didn't know, is on the screen now. fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. You can check out their hundreds of free articles, members area and stuff, which you can sign up. It's just £12.50 pre-season. I'm going to show you some of that stuff later on. Honestly, there's so much I'm just not going to be able to fit it all in the stream. But there's comparison tools, rate my team, season ticker, members only articles, etc., etc. So if you are interested, if you haven't already checked them out, or if you're thinking about getting a membership, click the link in the description below. Be much appreciated. Season membership for your league, innit? Yeah, I'm sure I can sort that out. Whether I pay for it or whatever, we can sort that out. So yeah, I'm super happy with that. I think one thing about getting the sponsorship with Fantasy Football Scout is I can genuinely kind of get behind the product. I actually tweeted today that I've been on the site for like 8+ years. So very, very happy with that. Mark's in the chat. Say hi to Mark. Much appreciated. So yeah, if you're not checked it out, click the link below. We'll go through some of the member stuff later on. But before that, I suppose we better start answering some questions. Andy on the Scoutcast. Wait, what? You've been with me since my 4-hour stream. So there'll be a bumper stream next Thursday. It's coming. Congrats. Okay, we're not going to get any questions now. When's the first Scoutcast? So Johnny was saying it should be Tuesday. We'll see. I've been torn between selecting Sané or Mane. Both at 9.5. Thoughts? I like Mane, to be honest, which is why I have him in my team. I'm still... Pep's basically said that he's not convinced or Sané's not really up full fitness yet. So we'll have to see in Community Shield what's happening there. I like Mane, though. I think Liverpool are going to hit the ground running. A lot of their players have had good pre-seasons. They're going to be pretty much full strength. You know, obviously Man City had such a good season last year, but Liverpool are one of those teams that just score goals in each and every game. And right now I'm looking at doubling up with Salah and Mane. So Mane for me over Sané right now. Who knows, eventually you might get a spot on the Scoutcast. Maybe one will open up. Our physio with some tickets on the Community Shield. Very nice. What's the latest on Shaw? Why buy? I basically put buy in because I feel like he's a bit safer than Shaw. Shaw is just a transfer waiting to happen. I really want to go for Shaw. I just know he's going to be a transfer waiting to happen. However, if I wildcard early, maybe that would help me go for Shaw. But right now, I'm just going for Firmino. I actually had a 4-4-2 draft the other day, which I tweeted out. I think Fantasy Football Pundits was retweeting that. You might have seen it. Have I given up on Sanchez? I'm not giving up on Sanchez completely. It's very hard to... it's very hard to justify Sanchez for $1 million more than Mane and Eriksen. I've put him in a few drafts. But yeah, I've just gone back to Mane basically. Like, if I take him out of this, if I take Mane out for Sanchez right now, I've got to downgrade Bernardo Silva to another 6.5 million mid, or I've got to take Mane out of defence, and I'm pretty set on Robertson plus 2 good defenders. Plus Sanchez just kills me. He killed me last year, but he's had the whole summer off, which makes me want to go for him. Man United's opening 2 fixtures are pretty good. Maguire's not going to be there for Leicester, but after that, the Man United fixtures aren't fantastic, and if we play like we did last season, like we got Burnley away and I think then Watford away in Gameweek 4 and 5, I'm just not sure we're going to blow them away, to be honest. Wouldn't recommend David Luiz if you want to nail it on the centre-back route. Yeah, really good 6 million though. It looks like David Luiz is going to be the centre-back partner for the start. Again, we'll see in the Community Shield, I suppose. What I really want to do is find some money to get Mendy in, but I don't think Mendy's played any of pre-season yet, which worries me a bit. Mendy has basically been in my sides since FPL launched up until today. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about Hudson Odoi, because one, I don't know if I've just pronounced his name correct. But yeah, it looks like he might start the start of the season, like maybe game week 1, but you've got to think, once Willian and Hazard are back fully fit, he's going to be straight out of the team. Do I think Lacazette can be a nice differential? The problem with Lacazette is no one can say for 100% certainty that he's going to start every game. And of course, you don't necessarily need them to start every game. The majority would be good. The odd game here or there missed isn't too bad. And Aubameyang might play like inside forward on the left, but I don't know. I'd rather have the assured starts from Aubameyang for 1.5 million more. Why am I not allowed to talk about Hudson? We can talk about him. I'm only messing. I don't know how to pronounce his second name. The second part of his name. Is it Hudson Odoi? Odoi. Okay. There's way too many new players with different names this year. That Brighton, is it striker or midfielder? Oh my god, not even tried pronouncing it. Even if Mendy plays the Community Shield, still can't be sure he'll start the first game. True, yeah, very true. But I just think Pep missed him last year. I mean, it's hard to say he missed him when Delph played so well and they scored a ridiculous amount of goals, but I think he offers something different to Delph. But you're right though, he's hardly played a minute for the last year or so, or just under a year. Van Dijk will have an Otamendi-like season this season. I mean, potentially Van Dijk is being overlooked by most of us going for Robertson. A Cardiff player is a good... I'm, as you can see from my team, I'm pretty much avoiding the new boys. I know Wolves have got a lot of kind of traction behind them. A lot of people thinking they're going to do well. They've made loads of good signings, to be fair. Patricio, Moutinho, etc. But for the most part, I'm dodging the new boys. The only streamer that can actually keep up with chat speed. The key is, you just look at the bottom, see a question, you answer it. It's way too difficult to keep up with the chat completely. Just so many questions. I mean, there's what? I'm not even looking in the right place. Yeah, 454 people watching already, so it's pretty insane. Who's the last player on the bench? He's just a 4.5 million forward. Wells, I think it's Burnley. Just picked a 4.5. None of them are going to start, I don't think. What's the chat record? We had just over 600 on the last stream before the season started last year, so potentially could be that tonight. Have Mendy on your bench away. I mean, Mendy's one of those players that if I had him in my team, I would just play him every week. Yeah, Bernardo Silva, I'm not sure about him. We'll see. He's played a bit in pre-season. When he played last year, he did pretty well. And obviously, Man City's fixtures are really good. But I don't expect him to be in the team that long. So he's probably going to go. He's a bit of a 7.5 million placeholder right now. The problem is every 7.5 million mid has a bit of a problem. Martial is 100% out of favour with Mourinho. Or it looks to be the case anyway. Silva might not start. Willian, what's going on with him pre-season? Passport issues or whatever. Ramsey just got injured. I mean, Ramsey's the one I'd want, to be honest. I could go down to a 6.5 or a 7 like Gross, someone like that, but Gross not for me, I don't think. I potentially like Willian, but who knows if he's gonna start. Yeah, 67.5 million, so I've definitely considered him, but I've got Richarlison. Am I going to double up on Everton attack? Seems unlikely. Would you like FPL to be like World Cup Fantasy where you can change your captain each week? No, but I wouldn't mind if they brought back Ultimate FPL. I like the simplicity of FPL. I like the World Cup thing for like a few weeks. But then, you know, it just gets a bit annoying having to do it every week. It's fine if you're around and you remember. I played Sky and I always forget to change my captain. So, yeah, so goalkeeper, I should say, like, some of my team is placeholder. Goalkeeper is especially placeholdery. I still haven't decided what I want to do. I'm pretty sure I want to go set and forget. The problem is I don't really like the 5 million keepers. I really want to get Edison, to be honest. I know people are saying about Man City attacking for very good reason, but to start the season, I'm very tempted, if I think Mendy's going to start, to go Aguero, Mendy and Edison. Obviously, I block myself from getting another attacker, but potential rotation, not knowing who's going to play, it could be worth it. I just think Man City are going to keep so many clean sheets in the opening few fixtures. So placeholders on the goalkeeper. Obviously, to get Edison in, I'd have to find another 0.5 million. But Bednarak is playing for Southampton at the moment, 4 million. But I think Yoshida isn't back yet, so that's a potential for him to go missing again. One thing I'm definitely not going to do is go for De Gea. I think I'd just rather get Bailly. Yeah, as people are saying, the polls are up. There's 5 tonight, so we got wildcard. So some of these are the same as the last stream, I think, but this is what people asked for. So wildcard plan: which Premier forward are you going with? Goalkeeper strategy, your current formation, and how many Man City players do you own? Nick, have I seen your FPL experiment icon? I have. I'm pretty sure I retweeted it just before the stream. Yoshida's gone. Is that correct? Why am I not going for Eriksen? I mean, there's a lot of players I'm not going for. I can only pick 15 at the end of the day. Bertrand at 5 million, yeah, nice pick. I actually had Cedric, but he's not played any pre-season. Yeah, Ben Davis, another one that's being overlooked. I think I should probably clarify when I say overlooked, I'm talking kind of in the communities and stuff that I'm in, like on Twitter, Fantasy Football Scout and stuff, because I thought Kane was being overlooked, and then I checked premium striker ownership earlier. He's on 33%. He's the highest owned out of the 11 million plus. Yeah, Richarlison, as soon as he went to Everton, I put him in 6.5. I just liked him last year. I think a lot of people got a bit burnt out by him. Obviously, didn't perform for a long time. So we'll see if he can pull it off again. Obviously, he's had a bit of a rest now. Did he already say why he put Bailly instead of Shaw? Just Assured starts, but to be fair, it looks like United want to sign another centre back. So once Jones, Lindelof are around, Bailly's not guaranteed to play. But I think if Bailly starts the season, which he should do, then it'll be his place to lose. He's definitely our best defender currently. Why no David De Gea? I don't want to spend 6 million on a goalkeeper, to be honest. Where's Chaz or Austin? He hasn't started a game in pre-season yet. I'll wait till the last game and see. He did score yesterday, though, as people tweeted me to tell me. Thank you. Yeah, Matt's not a bad shout, but he's a bit like Bernardo Silva in that he's only going to be in the team, you'd imagine, for a little while. Depends how we set up. But yeah, 6.5 million could be a nice punt for the opening couple of fixtures. PVA must be in contention. The problem with PVA is I like Sacco at 5 and Tompkins at 4.5, and I'm going to have Van Bissaka at 4, so it's hard to justify. It's not hard. Yes, I'd say it's hard to justify Van Arno at 5.5. I'm a little bit tempted by him because obviously he does so well attacking wise, did last year, and clean sheets did kind of come about for Crystal Palace once Sacco and Tompkins were kind of playing together, and they've got such good fixtures. It is tempting to get Van Arnold, but 5.5 million, find it tough to put him in. If he was 5, the problem is I think he's priced well at 5.5 because if he was 5, I think he'd be in so many more teams it'd make him like almost too easy an option. Which is why, which is exactly why. How do you pronounce the new Everton left back? Is it Digne? I don't know. The new Everton left back. It's why he's 5 million. Because if he was 5.5, everyone would have just gone for Coleman. Whereas now they have to make a choice. But as Fozzie says, he loves Aaron Van Arnold. He's kind of a fun pick to have in your team because you know you can get goals. Digne. Oh my god. Digne. Dinez. So that's only 4 different pronunciations in the space of 10 seconds. So I'll keep on looking. All right, we've already been going 25 minutes, so I'm going to quickly take a look and show you some of the stuff on the Fantasy Football Scout members area. Obviously, some of you might have seen this before. For those who haven't, I'm a member. Have been for like 8 years. so you can take a look. And then I got to do Patreon stuff. Don't let me forget that. There's so much to remember on these streams now. So let me find. I've got so many different things now to click on. So let me just change to this. I hope we look at that. It's almost professional, this stream. So this is the members area, and this is why. Let me get the chat back up. And this is why. This is why I can't go through too much, because it'll take forever. This is all the stuff you can do. I show you the 2 things that I like to use it for. 1, the members only articles. Now this is obviously an old one from last year because they've not started yet with the for this season. But the big numbers articles. So that basically puts all the info from the members article. Basically, they do it for you. So this is about Aubameyang and how well he's doing compared to kind of Aguero and Kane at the end of last year. Who's got the most shots for midfielders, etc., etc. Then Charlie Austin, obviously my man, right there. Mark's going to kill you. He's not going to kill me. So members articles, there's loads of them. Big numbers is by far my favourite article that's put on the site. And then one thing I use it for week to week is stats tables. So you can create your own table. I have loads because most of them aren't shared. I just put in random stuff just to get the table created. Description-wise, because I know what it's going to be. So, just as an example, attacking midfielders. You can do this week to week. You can do certain game weeks. You can do a range of game weeks. You can do the whole of last season. So, like, you can look at all home matches, whatever. So this is all midfielders from last season. You can see who was the top chances created, goal attempts. You can highlight certain players if you want to compare them easily enough. So basically, week to week, this is basically what I use it for mostly, the stats table. There's loads of other stuff you can do. You can compare 2 players. There's heat maps on there and stuff like that. But this is actually what I use for a lot of my Fantasy Island risk picks. Have a look for the last 2 game weeks. See who's doing the best, who's got the most shots in. Is there a player that actually no one's considering but is doing well stats-wise? This is what you come to see. So that's the kind of stuff you can do in there. And later on, maybe we'll do a comparison of certain players if there's certain players that people want to have a look at. But loads of stuff there. So like I say, if you're interested, click the link in the description. It's right at the top. Very easy to see. And maybe I'll show you a bit more of that later. Main screen, we're back. How does Rate My Team work? So I don't know if it's fully updated yet. But you can basically add in the players you're looking to have in your team, and it'll give you a rating for how well they're going to do. And then once the season started, you can just put in your ID and it will show you, and then you can swap players around to show you if it'll improve or not. Essentially. Yes, I believe there's going to be a Scoutcast next week. The best site for easy to digest. It's the most organised, that's why I like it. It's just so easy to find what you need. I've generally tried. I said it on streams before. Tried finding stats elsewhere, and it's not so easy to find. Do you think Sturridge will start over Firmino? No, not a chance. Eriksen versus Mane. Mane, yeah, we've already kind of gone through that. I'm on Mane currently. I just worry about Spurs and how quickly all their players are going to come back. They got a lot missing from pre-season. And I just don't think they've got the squad depth there to... I don't think... I don't think they're going to get battered or anything, but once you take Kane out, you can get Llorente in. I mean, I know Son can play up front, but it's just not the same, I don't think. Ali's missing. Trippier's missing. Oh, when are we getting the community team set up? Someone reminded me that. I generally don't know if there's enough time. I know, that's really bad, isn't it? I don't know if there's enough time. Oh no, now Nick's on at me as well. Son will play a shot. Yeah, he might do. Yeah, it might not be Llorente. And to be fair, Son's done a good job in the past. So, and they got Moira and Lamella. Sort of to be that budget striker. Yeah, but Crystal Palace are looking at bringing in Ings. Apparently that's very close, so... Aubameyang versus Aguero. Do it now. We'll do it a bit later on. This stream's going to be a long one, I think. When I say long, it's going to be more than an hour, so... We'll do it later on. How about that? I'll have to choose some of the team, though. Otherwise it could take forever. The Ramsey... Yeah, Ramsey love fizzled out as soon as he got injured. What if the polls are tied? I'll have the final say. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's very unlikely for the polls to be tied. But if you do want to vote on the polls that are currently up, top right hand corner, click that little eye. And then you can vote. I can promise you, you won't have Pedro or Bernardo Silva in your team come next week. We'll see. Pedro, I think if he starts the Community Shield, he's going to be in. Bernardo Silva, I think you're right, yeah. Damn, 600 people watching. Okay, this is record breaking. I can't remember exactly how long it would take me to look up. Probably too long to find out how what the biggest stream before was. If I can remember what it was called. Scotty B. I've not seen him yet, actually. Isn't Bernardo Silva probably getting rotated a lot? Yes, he probably will, yeah. Buy for cleanies. Yeah, I think Man United got the most clean sheets last year. I don't see why that would change this year. I do think Liverpool, though. I know the problem with Liverpool, you want like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of their players in your squad. You don't want to tie up too much in defence because of the attackers. But at the same time, I think there's clean sheets coming galore for Liverpool this year. I've not really considered Maddison too much. I mean, I believe he's 6.5. I'm a bit not worried, but like I don't want to go for too many new boys. I think there's enough well-priced, tried and tested players that you could possibly go for. Sané is essential. Definitely not. Still want a comment for Eluden Sanchez. Yeah, I mentioned it before. It's just that extra 1 million over Mane. So I think it's a lot of money when you're trying to fit in Aguero and Salah. Also, I'm not sure I'd bet against Mane beating. I'm not sure I'd bet on Sanchez beating Mane points wise. It's just very hard to do it. Ings to get penalties at Palace, that would be interesting. 5.5 million. Could be a bargain. The only thing with Ings is he's not... I know a lot of people rate him, obviously he did well at Burnley before, but it's been a long time since he played any like good amount of games. Do I have a plan for De Bruyne? I'd probably go without him, to be honest. I mean, I could find 0.5 million to upgrade Mane, just downgrade defence, I suppose. I mean, that's always what happens as you get closer to game week 1. Like, maybe it's just me, but as I get closer to game week 1, I try and find more money. It always comes out of defence, every time. Which is probably why I could never start with a 4 at the back, even though I think they could do well. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button as well. It'll be much appreciated. Over 600 watching. That is ridiculous. Why Wells at substrike? I mean, basically that position is just a 4.5 moving forward. It could be any of them. None of them are any good. Which is one of the problems with going with 2 up front. Yeah, Mane potentially on penalties. We'll see if that happens in the league. Is Jagielka nailed now that Williams is gone? I'd be very surprised if Everton don't sign a new centre-back. There's apparently in for Rojo from United. Yeah, I just can't imagine that they go into the season with Jagielka as their centre back. I mean, they could go for they could just play Holgate, I suppose, but I think they're going to sign a new centre back. United could start Smalling and Jones. I think Bailly's going to start the season, and then it's his to lose. Jagielka only 4.5 million though, but remember the days of only 70 watching. I mean, the first stream I did, I think there was about 50. I watched it back the other day. It was so awful. Oh, maybe I should change the music, by the way. Always forget to do this. If Mina came in at 5 million for Everton, would he be in my team? I'd be tempted, yeah. I won't lie. Especially seeing how well he did from corners and stuff in the World Cup. Early wildcard, is it still in the back pocket? It's definitely in the back pocket. I'm still in two minds about how to set my team up. I don't like setting my team up just for 3 or 4 games, knowing I'm going to 100% wildcard. Even though I know it's quite highly likely I'll do that anyway. And then I don't like doing it, because if you set it up without thinking about the wildcard, and you do well after 4 or 5 game weeks, then you can keep that wildcard for when it's needed. So I'm quite tempted just to ignore it and set my team up as if I was going to keep it for longer and go from there. Hey Ryan, how's it going? Very nice break. Glad to be back. Is Alfie Mawson only an option for you if he's 4.5? Yeah, I can't be spending 5 million on a Fulham defender. Yeah, I'm not sure I would go for an Everton defender in general, but if Mina came in, would he shore up that defence with Keane? Possibly. And I'm not saying they're going to turn into a 15-16 clean sheet type of team, but more than last year. Then he is Marco Silva. He's very attack-minded. I mean, couldn't even keep clean sheets last year when Big Sam was trying to be super defensive. Although, I think sometimes when you play as defensive as he did, you kind of bring pressure on yourself. Firmino versus Mane. I think I prefer Mane because, I mean, obviously it depends how much money you got allocated to those 2 spots. But let's say you're going for a 9.5 and a 7, then I prefer having Arnautovic than a 7 million midfielder, which is why I prefer Mane to Firmino. Also, I think Mane got a bit of an injury last year, which I think has probably clouded our judgment on how good he could have been. Let me just double check. He played 2,000 minutes, got 10 goals and 8 assists. That's a pretty nice return. Let me just do some quick maths. Or is it quick maths? I know this isn't the only way you can measure stuff, but I mean that's a return every 121 minutes. That's pretty nice. Obviously, it's not Salah levels of nice, but it's decent. Am I going to win the Mods and Cons League? Absolutely. How long have we been live? We've been live for 40 minutes. Very interested to see Lindegaard's price. He is going to be, I want to say 4.5 million. I think it depends on how long Heaton is injured for. If Heaton's going to be out for a long time, they may even price him at 5. Knowing how good Burnley usually are for clean sheets, but it's 4.5. It's no chance he's 4 million. Some people are saying he's going to be 4. Absolutely no chance. Because again, he just becomes 100% pick then. Salah's not on penalties, not worth it. I think I saw yesterday or something that Salah scored 1 or 2 penalties last year. Bearing in mind he scored 32 goals. I don't think Salah not having penalties is an issue. Now, will he score 32 goals again? Not so sure. Do I want to take the risk and not finding out whether he's going to do that and not put him in my team? No. Do I fancy Maguire if he goes to United? I hope we don't buy Maguire. I know the World Cup was great and I love watching him at penalties, at corners, but just not sure about it. But 5.5 million if he's nailed. Heading magnet from corners, possibly, yeah. I could talk myself into Maguire at United for sure. What do I think about Alexis this season? Would you have him with Salah or put Mane and save money? Probably save money. Yeah, Mina at Man United would be interesting. I don't know what they'd price him at though. I guess he probably has to go 5.5 because there's no guarantee he would play. I mean, you think he would if you signed a new centre back, but I don't think you can price him at 6. Although he's got good goal threat, I suppose, if the World Cup's anything to go by. So maybe they would price him at 6. Is Jose going to last the season? Yeah, I think so. I know it seemed like he's having a bit of a meltdown, but I don't think he's really doing anything different than what he's done the last couple of years. So obviously the way he wants to motivate his players. I mean, to be fair to Luke Shaw, he's still saying, I'm going to fight for my place, etc. So people have said that Mourinho's tactics for Shaw have been harsh, but Shaw has kind of reacted to it. What was the reason for dropping Mendy? He's not played any pre-season yet, I don't think, which is a worry. I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. And hit subscribe if you're new around here. Coming up to 13,800. And of course, if you want to check out Fantasy Football Scout, check out their members area, etc., click the link in the description below. It'd be muchos appreciated. See, I'm still talking Spanish. That's what happens when you're in Spain so long. Is Hudson Odoi? I'm going to go for Odoi. Odoi. Worth it on the bench. I mean, he's probably going to play 1, maybe 2 games, and that'll be it. I know a lot of people are kind of saying that he's such a talent, he'll burst into the team. And to be fair, Sarri said he's going to be in the first team squad. But that doesn't mean he's going to play. And Hazard, obviously, is not going to be dropped. If he's still playing, there's no way Hazard gets dropped. Will he get the other wing? Not have Willian there? Possibly, but I don't know. It's not very often that someone comes along that young and just smashes it straight away. Now, it can happen, obviously, when Kane burst onto the scene, he absolutely nailed it. I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's only 4.5 million. For the most part, it's going to be bench fodder anyway, but you're just setting yourself up for either having a player that doesn't play or maybe transfer him out. And no one wants to put a transfer on a 4.5 million player. Never. What do we do when Kane comes back and starts scoring? We stick with Aubameyang and Aguero, who will also be scoring, hopefully. I've actually got a video coming out tomorrow on premium forwards. Kane, Aubameyang, Aguero, and Lukaku. But you are right. I've basically, with this team, I've not blocked myself, but it'd be a downgrade I don't want to make to bring Kane in. But I've kind of made my decision on Kane, and it's not to have him in. Keita, 10 goals and 10 assists. Well, that'd be interesting for 7.5 million. You don't like any team you've chosen or seen. That's the beauty of FPL. You still won't like it in Gameweek 1. Holiday was great, Jacob. First kind of holiday I've properly done like that, actually. Just not doing a lot apart from sitting around a pool. What do I think of Patricio from Wolves? I think he's a very, very good keeper. And I think 4.5 million is a good price. The only thing is, I think I've told myself I don't want to do rotation with goalies this year. But I don't think I'm ready to set and forget with the Wolves keeper. So I don't know if I'm going to have him. Robert with the those Swedish. I can't remember what they're called. Thank you very much, my man. Much appreciated. You could have asked a question. You could have put in a comment. I'm going to look out for your name now in the scrolling text. 660 people watching. That is insane. Thank you very much, people. In fact, I'm going to have to screenshot that. Swedish krona, that's it. My apologies, Swedish people. Hang on a second, hang on a second. Aubameyang versus Aguero. So, I think they're both very good players, if you didn't already know. Aubameyang's first two fixtures are a bit annoying for me. Obviously, Aguero's got one tough fixture as well, so once you cancel that one out of Aubameyang's, obviously they play each other, then there's only one extra bad fixture, but Aguero's fixtures are so good that I kind of want to go with him. His minutes per return last year were really good, as they always are. I think if you could ask Pep who was the number one striker, and he would, if you get a good answer, if you get an honest answer out of him, I think it would be Aguero. The problem is I can't sit here and say 100% he's gonna play in the first 10 games. You just can't. So it's 11 million on a player that might get rotated. Whereas Aubameyang, I think, is nailed. I think even if he's not the central striker, then he's going to be the inside forward on the left. So I think he's fine. And he came in and absolutely smashed it last year. I looked at the minutes per return for those two in the video for tomorrow. So spoilers. They're both very, very, very similar. But those Man City fixtures, the Charity Shield will probably make my decision, because if I can get in a Man City mid, I may do that instead. I may want a midfielder and Aguero. Like, the fixtures are so good, and look how many goals they scored last season. Basically, I want to fill my first 11 with just Liverpool Man City players. United will be resilient as long as Jose is at the helm, for sure, yeah. De Bruyne is set and forget option. I mean, he's always pretty consistent. And once he's in that team, likely to play most weeks. So, yeah, 10 million. But, I mean, what do you think about Liverpool, for example? Mane, 0.5 million less. I know they got Shaqiri, Lallana now kind of fit and raring to go. But I still can't see Mane, Firmino and Salah getting rested that much. Especially Firmino. I mean, Sturridge, can he stay fit? Is he anything like Firmino now? I think Firmino's that important to how Liverpool play. They can't just get Sturridge in. Jota is a nobody until Wolves prove themselves. I mean, Jota's 6.5 million. So for me, I'd want to be a bit more confident about him. Now, Pedro, to be fair, is a bit of a punt potentially. Jota, though, 6.5 million. For me, that's just a bit too much for a Wolves mid. What's up, Matt? Thanks very much for tuning in. Enjoy the watch back. Can Sturridge stay fit? Every year we say that. Yeah, you're right, yeah. Kennedy, I would not be. I don't know. Kennedy seems like, on paper, one of the better 5 million mids. But at the same time, Newcastle have awful fixtures. Mike Ashley is being Mike Ashley. Rafa is not complaining, but answering questions about how there's no money. He's not going to get to bring him in. He doesn't really know what's going off the pitch. They're being in a bit of a shambles right now. I'm not sure I'd be looking at Newcastle players personally. Tozen, what do I think of Tozen? I like the fixtures, and I like the fact that Marco Silva should be a bit more attacking. At least that's what we're expecting. And to be fair, I mean, I don't think Everton could get any less attacking than when Allardyce was managing last year. But then I look at Arnautovic, and so pre-season, I said on one of the videos, I use pre-season as a guide. So I once went for Moses Game Week 1 captain because of how he did pre-season. Obviously, I learnt from that. But sometimes when you see a top quality player like Arnautovic, who did well at the end of last season playing up front, he's carried on playing up front during pre-season, so that tells you something. He's scoring in pre-season. Yes, the opposition's not great, but he's carried on that form from last season. He's only 7 million up front. I mean, essentially, if you play 3-5-2 this year and you've got Arnautovic, it's almost like playing 3-6-1. He's going to lose a few points, potentially, because obviously he won't get clean sheet or the extra goal point. But he will get more bonus points for scoring a goal now. That's my problem with Tosin, is I'd rather have Arnautovic. And with Everton, you've got Richarlison and Sigurdsson as well, if you want to go in for their attack. So Tosin not for me, but I don't think he's the worst pick going. Let's say that. Does West Ham sign the striker worry you concerning Arnie? So I thought about this because I know I can't remember who they were linked with. But I think it would depend on the striker. But if it's not someone, I just don't know why they would stop Arnautovic playing up front. Unless they've just signed Yarmolenko, Felipe Anderson, who can play on the wings. So to me, that's saying they're going to keep Arnautovic as the main striker. Now, they might sign a striker as backup, but I just don't know why, when he's in such good form, doing it in pre-season, did it at the end of last season, why would they drop him? You know, if they, I don't know, I can't think of an example now of who, but, you know, if they signed a top quality striker, then potentially, okay, I might think, okay, Arnautovic is out on his ear, or he's going to go back to the wing. More like an inside forward or whatever position he might play. But if it's someone who's just not that well known, or he's an okay striker, but you know he's not been first choice, or he's been first choice in a poorer league or something like that, I just don't know. Just don't know why they were dropping out of it, to be honest. Okay, this is a good question. We did briefly break 700. Insane! 700 people watching. Wow. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like next Thursday. Is it worth having a premium striker if you'll be captaining Salah for the first few game weeks? So, eventually you've got to spend that money, right? So I can see the argument. For me, yes, because even if I have just one premium striker, if I really need to get another one in, like I've got Aguero, let's say I have to get Aubameyang because he's absolutely on fire, Aguero gets injured, and I can easily make the switch. And I don't feel like having Salah and a premium forward hurts the rest of my team too much. Now, if you're talking two premium strikers and Salah, then it gets a bit more difficult. And you're right, because you can only captain one player a week. And for me, that's probably going to be Salah for the first few weeks. So, to answer your question, do you absolutely need one? No. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes. What's up, Tom? Thoughts on owning De Bruyne from the outset, but benching him for game week 1? Do you know what? That's one of those things that when you think about it sensibly, it's not the worst idea. If you're confident he'll then carry on from game week 2 onwards, because he's pretty much going to be nailed, you'd imagine. Do I want 10 million on the bench to start with? I think if you're likely to early wildcard, I probably wouldn't do that. If you're wanting to keep that wildcard, you could do it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like leaving 10 million on the bench, but that's possibly more like a psychological thing more than anything. Do I not classify Mane as premium? It depends what we're talking about, really. I mean, when it comes to premium strikers, I'm talking 11 million plus. But yeah, fair enough. Lacazette, Morata, Jesus just behind, you could say are the same. And yeah, you could say Manny is probably a premium mid, yeah. But he's not in the same price bracket as the premium forwards. That's how I'm kind of looking at it. What's up, FPL family? I assume this is Lee. Maybe both of you. Hello to both, just in case. Lee and Sam. Danny Ings been discussed. Yes. Is the third striker back? I don't know. I'd want to see. I mean, the 5.5. I always think if you've got a few, if you've only got one or two kind of 5 million players, then is it that risky to get him in? Maybe not. But he's barely played the last kind of, what is it, 2 or 3 seasons. We don't really know what kind of fitness he's in. Got Benteke, got Sorloth. I mean, I think Benteke's got a knock, but I don't know. For 5.5 million, the problem I have with leaving out a third striker is you have to put in a 4.5 million who's just not going to play, and I don't like that. So I don't think the third striker spot is completely dead yet. I'm just not sure if Ings is the answer. But with their fixtures, it could be worth a little punt, to be honest. I did put a draft, did post a draft of him earlier. What's with the very experienced defence? I want a lot of experienced clean sheets. Oh, the Charity Shield is going to be a nightmare because we're all thinking we just want the lineup and then we'll decide. But really, someone scores a goal. Imagine if Mario scores a goal, gets a goal and an assist. I think that would make me want him for sure. August is here. Oh, I'm going to butcher your name. Jetil. Kajetil. Do a Roy Hodgson imitation. I can't even think. I can't even think about what that would even entail. I can't do that. I can't even think of what he sounds like. I was thinking about it when he did the foreign accent thing, but I think that was Steve McLaren. Am I obsessed with FPL? Yeah, probably. Alfie Mawson. I love Alfie Mawson. Anyone who's watched the streams for a good time knows that I like Alfie Mawson. What price would he have to be to get him? 4.5, I think, to me to consider him. 5's too much. How about Leno for Arsenal? I know, but 2 dodgy opening fixtures. I'm not convinced by their defence. Azpilicueta, the last 2 seasons, has been the best value for money. He's as essential as Salah. Nice shout. 6.5 million though. I don't know. He got quite a few assists from Morata last year. Is he going to do that again? You're right though. I am overlooking Azpilicueta for sure. Morata had a higher expected goals than Firmino last season and now has a more attack-minded manager. The problem with Morata, it's just lacking a bit of confidence, I think. I think he's a quality player, and if he's getting that many chances, then eventually you'd expect him to put some away. And obviously we did see him do well for a little bit last year. A lot of people still feel a bit burnt by him. But yeah, I quite like Morata. I've looked at getting him in my team for 9 million. I think Chelsea's fixtures are pretty good that they open with. But 9 million, I want someone that's... I know pre-season's not the be-all and end-all, but I'd like to see him put a couple away in pre-season. If Max Meyer is 5 million, could be a great option. I mean, I looked at his goal and assist record. It didn't seem too good. Robert, I do appreciate that donation, but Roy Hodgson, you're speaking to the wrong person for impressions. Is Ozil a good option if Ramsey's out? I don't know if Ozil really becomes a better option because Ramsey's out. Ozil's interesting to me because I think last year he was way too expensive, 9.5 million. At 8.5, he's still at a price where he doesn't make me kind of jump at the chance of getting him. But I do think for 8.5 million he could return decent points. I think with Lacazette and Aubameyang, that's two great forwards to kind of aim all those assists at. Possibly got some, not confidence possibly, but some improved motivation with a new manager. So I like Ozil. Two things, one or three things maybe. Opening fixtures, I don't think he necessarily becomes a better option without Ramsey, to be honest. And 8.5 million is still not a price point where I think I've got to have him. For me, that's a wait and see. Dr. Shiller, like the new logo. Thanks very much. Community team time. Oh, community team. How are we going to do this? Oh, I need to do patrons. Oh my god. I knew I'd forget something. Let's quickly do this first. I really need to have a whiteboard or something up here to tell me what to do. So, Patreon screen. If anyone wants to sign up to Patreon, again, links are in the description. There's Discord channel, League, Patreon only League, and other stuff. You can read about it in the link below. So let's just do a shout out. The producers, so they get shouted out every time. So Dean P and Madchek, who were from the last stream, and then Alex C and Kenneth DT, who are both new producers from this time out. And we've got other new patrons, so Jamie Y, Dylan M, Eddie Gibbo, Klaus L, great name, Richard S, Phil D, Jansky A, and S Mars. So thank you very much for signing up, much appreciated. It's been good chatting to you in the Discord channel. Obviously, anyone wants to sign up, check the description below. And Robert, you made me lose track of what I was going to say. I can't remember now. We'll worry about it next time. So thanks very much to those guys, much appreciated. My camera lags a bit. I know. I don't know if it's the software or the camera, but recently when we've been recording videos, I've had to shut down the software for a bit and bring it back up. I don't know if it's my computer. It could be the computer. We'll see. What was I going to say about Patreon? I'll worry about it when I remember it. Robert, I will save that for sure, my man. Morata missed the penalty yesterday, lacks skills and is overrated. Jack, all the Patreon info is in the description below. Sponsored by IKEA. I went to IKEA the other day. That was rubbish. I just saw a question I thought I'd better answer. Did you miss the polls? No, I'll do them soon actually. Because I'm not sticking to the hour time, I'm a bit out of sync. I'm probably gonna be streaming for another hour, I'd say. So we can do the polls now. If you haven't already, hit the little eye in the top right hand corner. You can hover over it if you're on desktop, or you can click into it on iPad or tablet or whatever. So vote on them now. We'll do them in a couple of minutes. How's it going, Joe? It's all good. Morata is sound, but just lacks confidence. Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad striker for sure. It feels somewhat relaxed. I like relaxed streams. It doesn't feel relaxing to me. I'm boiling. The window's not open. It's really hot in this room. I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. There's a crazy amount of people watching, which I just was not expecting. Do appreciate it, of course, but... Yeah, the Scoutcast is looking like Tuesday, but I'm still waiting for confirmation. That's what it usually is. Originally, Johnny said he couldn't do Tuesday because he was at a match, but then he realised today, I think, that the match is the week after. Quickfire questions, yeah. Let's do quickfire questions, and then we'll do the polls. Okay, you need to give me a sec though, because I need to... Hang on. Because I haven't set this up. I love my Quickfire screen. Oh, the camera's lagging loads. I think it's when the program's open for too long. I might need to get a different. Oh, look how big that is, lads. Okay, 5 minutes. 5-minute quickfire. So I'm basically going to try and answer as many questions as possible with one-word answers. Although I never end up doing it with one-word answers, I always have to elaborate and then still don't come to a conclusion. Oh, my camera's lagging loads now. So annoying. Arnie's a tough choice. Chikorita could start up front. Nah, definitely not. Right. When that countdown's done, we're done. We're doing polls, people. Okay. Let's go now. Oh, look at that. It even works. Mane plus 9 million or Salah Salah plus 5. I mean, Mane plus 9 million sounds good to me, but still the Salah option. Favorite Pokemon? One of the ghosts. Oh my god, I can't even read that. Best cheap forward. Possibly Wood if he's not injured. Otherwise, Austin if he's going to play, but it's not looking likely to me. How nailed is Aguero? Nailed-ish, but you've always got to worry about Jesus. Why is Lacazette being overlooked? I think because Aubameyang's nailed on, Lacazette's not. These questions are going so fast. Do you think Pogba will be worth it when he returns? I think 8 million is a very good price. And if he hadn't been at the World Cup for so long, he'd probably be in my opening team. Sanchez, hard to justify Sanchez because Mane is 1 million cheaper, and so is Eriksen, and so is Sané. Community team, yes, okay, we'll do it soon. How long will the wildcard be in the back pocket? As long as possible. Top 4, Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea. I can't, Spurs, I don't know. Mitrovic, more red cards than hat-tricks, yes. Meatballs or kebabs? Meatballs. What's your aim for rank this year? Number 1. Top 5k would be nice though. Be nice to get another top 5k. Or even, to be fair, after last season, top 10k would be good. Silva or Sané? If they were both going to start, I quite like Silva to be honest. I mean, I know Pep said about rotation and that his legs are getting on a bit, but who doesn't get rotated? Messi or CR7? Both. What formation do I think Man City will play? I think they'll play some kind of like 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-4-1, whatever. I don't think they're going to play 3 at the back. Favorite FPL blog content? Whoever asked me at the time. Spurs not in the top 4. Sam stopped watching. I know. When you say it out loud, it doesn't sound right. But then I don't know. Maybe Sarri will come in and work his magic. Will Burnley go far in the Europa League? No, I don't think so. Why is it so hard to think of quick fire questions? Because you're under pressure like me. Who wins the Fantasy Football Scout Mods and Cons League? It's me. It's my turn. I was top for like the first 2 weeks last year or something. I thought this is my year, and then it all went downhill. Papa John's or Domino's? Domino's. How many goals does Austin score in the season? Maybe it depends if he can stay fit. Maybe 5 or 6 if he's not going to play. Burnley players out of our thinking. I don't think defenders are out of our thinking. I do worry there's going to be a bit of rotation in attack though. Coleman versus Van Arnold. Van Arnold. Is the chat going too fast? Yes. Well, that has slowed down a bit. Do I have an FPL league? Yes. It's in the description below. What do I think of FPL Chef? He seems like he likes me a lot. He keeps talking about me. Pep or Jose? Jose, of course. Come on. Golden Boot. Kane. Kane is missing. I know Salah did so well, but Kane's so consistent. Can you activate slow mode? I probably could actually. Yeah. Maybe I think of that next time. Is it coming home? It's unfortunately not coming home. Is having Aubameyang and Aguero a viable option to start the season? So I did a video today. I think it's tough to fit those two and Salah in, but arguably if they were both nailed, I said it on Twitter, I think there's a potential option to go without Salah. Which player is a trap? Oh, I can't think off the top of my head. There's probably loads. Zaha or Tozen. Zaha, although if they sign Ings, he's going to get moved back to the wing. Don't know if that's 100% a bad option, but... Gordon Ramsay or Jamie Oliver? Gordon Ramsay. And Jamie Oliver's trying to stop 2 for whatever pizzas. Bad times. Top 4 most clean sheets. United, City, Liverpool, Chelsea. The same as the top 4. I think Kante, Jorginho. Decent. Have you been to Ireland? I have been to Ireland once or twice. Mendy starting player for City. We'll have to wait and see. Johnny Arras, come on. Why isn't the Quickfire sponsored by Fantasy Football Scout? Because I didn't change the yeah, whatever. I didn't change the thing. There you go. We'll go back to them now. Jesus, that's tough. Hang on, is this the real Fantasy Football Scout account? KSI or Logan? What? For real? We don't talk about that in here. Golden Glove this year. Do you know what? I've got a real... I hate talking about Liverpool so much, but I think Liverpool have got to be up there for contention. But obviously Man United, of course, with Jose at the helm. Why is the alarm like a microwave oven? It's just on Google. It's what Google like. You're down with the kids, okay? Yeah, I just KSI Logan, hopefully KSI, to give you a real answer. Okay, let's do the polls. KSI and FIFA. Okay, it all makes sense now. I can't keep up with anything. There's too many people watching. Hang on. Let me do the polls. What does KSI mean? If you don't know, don't worry yourself over it, honestly. Okay. I think Robert, by the way, donated something else while I was doing that. Hey, Hammerby. I don't know what that means. Thanks very much, though, Robert. Okay, cards. Let me just refresh. So wildcard plan, 59% not making a plan, using it when they need it. I think that's where I am. 16% using it by game week 4. Only 7% using it in game week 6. So I actually probably could have put those answers back because I think game week 5 is the international break. And then 16% plan to use it later than game week 6. Which premium forward are you going with? Aguero is top with 50%, which is interesting because Kane is owned by the most. In fact, wait, let's read the rest. So you guys are saying Aguero 50%, Aubameyang 38%, 9% going for 2 premium strikers, only 1 person going for Lukaku, and 6 people in total, 1% going for Kane. Which is interesting because Kane is the most owned out of this lot, then Aubameyang. So it looks like a lot of the kind of hardcore community not going with Kane, but oh, excuse me, sorry. A lot of the casuals are. Goalkeeper strategy. So 34% going for 5.5 million set and forget. I'm surprised that's so high, but it is kind of what I'm looking at. It's what I'd like to do if I have the money. Then the next highest one, which is quite often the most popular, is 9 million total spend rotating, so 4.5 million goalkeepers rotating, 29%. Then 14% going for a 9 million total spend, no rotation, so probably going for a 5 million keeper there. 13% going for a 4.5 and 4 million, and only 8% going for David De Gea, so obviously thinking he's a bit too expensive. Current formation, 3-4-3 winning, 38%. Then it's very close. 352 is 32%. And 4 at the back coming in at 27%. I'll be interested to see if that carries on as we get to next week, basically. And then 5 at the back, only 3 people going for it. Then how many Man City players do you own? 44% saying they own 2. 28% saying 1. Only 21% owning 3. I think that will change by next week. And then 5% saying 0. No Man City players. The best team in the league last year. I've reinforced with Mahrez. No people. Okay. That's polls. That's polls done. Need to stretch after all that. .352 with 2 6.5s in rotation. What, a forward and a midfielder? Surely not. Mahrez equals more rotation. Yeah, quite possibly. That's why we're worried about him. Don't forget, if you haven't already, by the way, hit that like button. It'd be much appreciated. And also hit subscribe if you're new around here. Over 13,800 now, which is incredible. Will there be a Scoutcast before Gameweek 1? Yes, there should be. Sanchez or Hazard? They come in at the same price, right? Yeah, 10.5 Hazard. Well, I mean, Sanchez is more likely to start, right? But let's do. I said to Mark that I might do one player comparison, right? So we'll have a look at this in the members area on Fantasy Football Scout. Hazard versus Sanchez. I mean, my initial instinct would be that Hazard performed much better than Sanchez last year, but we can have a look at the averages. So let me just switch over to this. The big numbers. So back to the members area. We'll do comparison. Hopefully this is one that comes up. Sanchez and Hazard. Hang on a second. Yeah, a lot of people looking past Hazard. Okay, so we'll do averages because I've done it for all matches. So obviously, if you don't do the averages, then when players miss matches, it gets a bit skewed. So we compare the two. So the first thing you'll see, you've got heat maps, so you can do touches, where their shots were, where their chances created were from. Obviously, I'll just leave this on their touches now, but see, Hazard gets a bit more of the ball all over the place. Sanchez kind of tends to stick centrally and through the middle, but yeah, you can look at like their shots heat map as well, which is really sweet. Easy, quickly changes. See, Sanchez more shots in the box, has a bit more from outside, some in the box, but not as concentrated as Sanchez. Robert with a 20 kroner to buy a great looking hat. I look bad in hats. Do you know the problem with hats is they can't fit on my big head. Okay, so we go further down and you basically, this is where you got all the stats. So it's a ridiculous amount of stats. The ones I tend to look at are obviously shots and chances created. So penalty area touches are pretty similar. They're both getting touches in the box at a very similar rate. Goal attempts though, Sanchez has taken 2.8. This is the whole of last year on average, 2.8. Hazard only 2.1. And again, slightly more attempts in the box for Sanchez versus Hazard, but only just. They're very similar there. And then whereas, I mean, there's loads here. Like obviously, if you want to see for yourself, click the link in the description below, and you can check it out once you remember. But then chances created again, Sanchez slightly higher than Hazard, but they're both pretty close on those stats. Obviously, there's loads more you can take a look at, but there's not too much in it. I mean, Sanchez is fully rested. If you're going for one of these, I would probably go for Sanchez at the start of the season. But Hazard longer term will probably be the better pick if he stays. The start of the season, for me, having a quick look at that, looking at the fixtures, knowing that Sanchez had a full season off. Sorry, not a full season off, full summer off. I'd look at that. But that's kind of the members area. Like you can do different different player comparisons. You can do all matches or home matches away. It just, the list is endless. It's way too much for me to go through now, but you can see on screen it's just huge. And the heat maps are awesome. They were put in last year. Very easy to use. So there you go. Sanchez versus Hazard. I'm saying Sanchez personally. Look how great we transition between screens. Such a professional show we're putting on here. Now I need to go and buy a hat, that Robert said. Am I allowed to show this stuff now? I'm not going to sit here all night showing it, no. But, you know, the odd one or two just to show what it does. Don't go Sanchez again. The thing is, I got good memories of going for Mkhitaryan last year as a Man United player. Did really well. The thing about Game Week 1... The thing I like about Game Week 1 is... No one really knows exactly what's going to happen, right? So I feel like I can go for a little punt on Sanchez. If it doesn't work out, it's the start of the season. So be it. We just swap him out. Imagine if he goes nuts, though. Imagine if he goes mad. Oh, I don't know. Daniel, you don't have to punch the sub button. I should do that, though. I should do what all those other YouTubers go. Just smash that like button. Can we get 1 billion likes on this video? Sanchez is your Vardy. I don't get that. What do you mean? 14,000 subs tonight, potentially. Maybe tomorrow though. How much is the subscription? It's usually £15 for the Fantasy Football Scout membership, but pre-season it's £12.50. Mark might be able to tell you when that price changes. It might be dead on Game Week 1, but it's £12.50 right now for the whole year. There's so much stuff there. You can have a look yourself. The last thing I used the members area for, obviously I've not used it much recently because FPL just hasn't been around, but I used it to argue with someone at work that Sterling was much better than they were giving him credit for. They kept saying he was missing too many chances, so I used it to prove them wrong. Because even outside of FPL, I'm still talking about football and stats. How do you sign up? If you click the link below, that'll take you to the site and then you can sign up from there. £12.50 to win any argument at work. Yeah, any argument. So much free information out there. There is, yeah, true. But this will allow you to make some of your decisions yourself with being able to organise the stats and stuff so easily. I know, it's kind of nice to be able to do that. And not all the free stuff is so detailed necessarily. Or it's easy to sift through. Is David Silva being overlooked? Yes, but I think that's because of Pep's comments. But I think 8.5 million, I think there's a good reason to look at him. Especially if De Bruyne's not going to start the season. He's going to be their kind of creative player. They've got Mahrez now, I suppose. But is Mahrez as good as David Silva on his day? Not so sure. Does the £12.50 guarantee a top finish? Afraid not. Afraid not. Can't believe Mark is thinking of rotating 2 6.5s. Yeah, did he answer what that was about? That doesn't sound right to me. Who's the best Chelsea 5.5 million defender? I think it's David. Well, I think David Luiz is the most likely to start at 5.5. Yeah, Lee and Sam, that's basically what I said earlier. Just everything that's going on in Newcastle plus the fixtures. Even Kennedy, I think. Not so sure about that. But for 5 million again, not a huge risk. Said he had Mitrovic, King and Arnett. Oh, so you're rotating Mitrovic and King. But that means you've got 5 premium midfielders. That's still a lot of money tied up in a play. That's still like That's still 2 million more than you'd usually have tied up in a play you're not going to play each week. It's an interesting tactic. Not one I've really seen used too much before. There's an article on budget defenders on Fantasy Football website. Yeah, I suppose it's worth mentioning that too. Talking about the members area, but there's an absolute ton of free articles on Fantasy Football Scout every single day. So it's not just about the membership. Huge community over there too, if you want to discuss. Interesting, Mitrovic. I hadn't really given him much thought. I don't know, I think I'm going to stick to my don't go for any promoted sides players. Best third forward option. It depends how much you want to spend, to be honest. Can't wait to waste the next 9 months. That's why we're here. That is why we're here. Stuart, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will catch you in the next stream, which will almost certainly be next. Well, it'll definitely be next Thursday. Will there be one in between? Maybe. We'll see. Well, Community Shield's this weekend, isn't it? Yeah, so maybe we'll do one after the Community Shield, actually. Maybe we'll do one Sunday as well. Yeah, post-Community Shield stream. That could be a thing. Are you going for a pint, Stuart? Even better. So you're not tempted by the out-of-position, much fancy Jota. So I'm pretty much sticking to no promoted side players. Although I might go for Patricio. Yeah, I haven't decided. Jota, just for 6.5 million, I think I want to know a bit more about how he's going to play. Can Wolves cut it in the Premier League? Potentially. But Richarlison and Pedro. I mean, Pedro's potentially a bit of a short-term punt. That's the only problem with him. Just Jota, just not for me. I want to see him first. Maybe that's just my fault for not watching enough Championship football. But we'll see. I just don't think I'm going to start with him. Going cheap up front is your favourite way to break the template. I want to do something a little different. Interesting. Well, we'll see if we go through with it for Game Week 1. I always say it's very easy to have these thoughts now. Yeah, no, I saw that he played at top, but I can't remember who wrote the article. I want to give them credit, but I can't remember which account it was. I think it was FPL Guidance, basically showing how much a promoted side's goals go down. They could struggle, but they've made so many good signings. I could be wrong about Wolves. I think if I'm going to look to break any kind of template, how do I have to fist bump myself? Or the camera? I can't remember what I was saying now. Basically, Robert donates some money and then I lose my train of thought. Oh yeah, if I'm going to try and break it anyway, I think it'll be 4 at the back for me. I think 4 at the back is the way I'd like to try and break it. Having Salah, yeah, exactly. Going to be captain of Salah all the time. Townsend is definitely a punt, but yeah, I quite like that. 6 million. I don't think Townsend's the worst option. I think Wolves are generally a top. Loads of people are saying it, and like I say, fair enough. I don't watch enough Championship football to know. I'm a Premier League kind of man. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's the second time. Could you give reason for not picking Zaha and then later on bringing on Arnautovic once he's passed all the difficult fixtures? I mean, both players are nailed on, for sure. Arnautovic had such good form last year when he played. I kind of already mentioned this, but he had such good form when he played up front last year. He's got good pre-season form. Fixtures are mixed. I don't think they're awful for Arnautovic, but yes, they're not as good as Zaha. It's just not a transfer. In an ideal world, yes, you'd pick the player with the best fixture and then you'd transfer him out when another player's got better fixtures. Obviously, that's what we try and do. We've only got a limited amount of transfers. Can't do that for every position. At some point, you've just got to keep that player. Can I see an Arnautovic scoring against Liverpool? Possibly. It is one of the reasons that makes me doubt going for 2 Liverpool defenders in Game Week 1. Then it's Bournemouth home's a decent fixture. Arsenal away, I mean, their defence isn't looking fantastic, but they have strengthened in kind of in midfield, and obviously they're brought in a few more defenders. They could do okay with Leno there. But again, could I see Arnautovic scoring there? Possibly, yeah. And then Wolves at home's okay, but then it does get tough with Chelsea and Man United at home as well. So Arnautovic is fixture-wise. This is definitely form over fixtures, I think. Now, I don't usually do form over fixtures at the start of the season, but Arnautovic is just something about him. I just think for 7 million, he fills that spot up front that we've not had for a while. We've not had a player in that kind of price bracket. So for me, I just go on Arnautovic now and don't have to make the transfer later on. See, Maddison for me, I'd be a bit more tempted with. Because yes, he's come up, but he's going into a team that's kind of Prem proven. So it'd almost be like, oh, I'm not going to think of an example now, but I'd be more tempted by that. But that doesn't mean that Maddison's a better player. Jota, like Jota could be a great pick. Just not for me, not right now. If he does really well, I'll jump on the bandwagon, no problem. Cheers, General Zod. You think Arnautovic is easily an £8 million player? Could be. Yeah, I always, obviously we can't have like parallel universes or whatever, but it'd be really interesting to see in a separate FPL universe where Arnautovic is priced at 8 million. Does he have more ownership? Because sometimes players are put so cheap it puts people off. Which is obviously crazy, but we always discuss it on the Scoutcast stuff. It always happens. That if a player was 0.5, 1 million, 1.5 million more, would people actually look at them more because their pricing would indicate they're a better quality player? So I don't know if he'd have more, but I don't know if he'd have that much less at 8 million. Arnie better option if he wasn't going up against Liverpool defence game 1. Yeah, of course, because that looks like a blank straight away. I get that, especially if you've got a Liverpool player, a Liverpool defender in your team. But you've got to think longer term. Don't think the price is the problem. If Arnie had good fixtures, everyone... Yeah, fair enough. I mean, obviously fixtures are putting some people off, which is fair enough. Is Pedro a placeholder? No, if Pedro's going to play, I think he's in for me, to be honest. Daniel, you're such a troll. Wait, what did Sarri say? Charleston, Salah, Sané, Mana, Jota. Oh, we've got Jota. Yeah, fair enough. 26% ownership is pretty decent. Why isn't Firmino in my team? Because basically I've gone Mane instead. I prefer Mane and Arnautovic to Firmino and a 7 million mid. There are annoyingly no good options at striker between 7 and 11. I mean, there are. There's Firmino for a start. So I think he's a good option. Morata potentially, but yeah, fair enough. I can see why people are put off with him. Why is everyone sub set and forget goalie Stecklenburg? I mean, I put him in because I went for Pickford for this particular draft, but don't know if that's definitely who I'll go for. I mean, there's Hamer, 4 million potentially. Do I think the no third striker trend will hold? I think 3-5-2 will definitely be popular. But of course, more people will go back to 3-4-3 as we get closer to Gameweek 1. Am I confident about the Everton goalkeeper? That's still a placeholder for me. I don't think I'll go Everton. Although with their fixtures and Pickford's kind of form in the World Cup, I'd be tempted. But then does World Cup form come into it? Probably not. If Pickford leaves, then Stecklenburg will be in everyone's team for sure, and Pickford probably will be too if he goes to somewhere like Chelsea. But I don't know what's happening there. Obviously, there's only a week left for Premier League clubs to sign players. So I mean, this time in 7 days, it'll all be over basically. The transfer window for Premier League. They can still sell players, but they can't buy. So if Courtois is going, Chelsea need to get a goalkeeper in the next week. So will he do it? I don't know. If Pickford leaves, Butland will fill his shoes. How much is Butland? I've not even checked. Oh no, of course he's... Never mind, forget that. See you later, Mark. Thanks for tuning in. Courtois back in training tomorrow. Crunch talks with Sarri. Yeah, Stoke. Yeah, I realised that straight away. Butland said he's staying put. I mean, maybe he said that, but if he gets a chance to come back to the Premier League, I mean, surely lots of Premier League clubs would like Butland. Scoutcast next week probably. Wino Sanchez has got Mane, basically. Courtois has gone end of. Butland will come. That's the rumour. I mean, from an FPL point of view, it's not the worst thing that can happen, because I think if a 5 million goalie goes to Chelsea, then he becomes an automatic pick. I guess Butland at Chelsea would be priced at 5.5. Assuming you take out Pedro and Bernardo Silva, who are the replacements? I mean, I'd like Rams instead of Bernardo Silva. Pedro, I'm probably not getting rid of, to be honest. Do I think Luke Shaw will start the season? Potentially, yeah, but I think it's going to only be a couple of game weeks. Can he keep himself in the side? That's anyone's guess, to be honest. Am I leaving any money in the bank for Kane? Definitely not. Physio, Knight, catch you later on. Thanks for tuning in. I do kind of want Alexis Sanchez, but, you know, 1 million more. Why, Louise? It's just to get into the Chelsea defence, to be honest. Cheapest way. Right, people, I think we are starting to answer exactly the same questions we've been answering all night. I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't already, click like on the stream. It would be much appreciated if you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much for tuning in. That was easily the best stream we've ever had. 700 plus people watching. Let's smash that again next Thursday when the next stream will be. There'll possibly one on Sunday after the Community Shield. We're going to have to watch that and then create a stream. If you've not already, hit subscribe. Got over, 40 or 50 this stream. Coming up on 14,000. So going for 15,000 now before the start of the season, which was my end of season goal. So I'm going to have to reassess that. Obviously, if you're interested in any of the fantasy football scout stuff, whether it's the free stuff or the member stuff, make sure to click that link in the description below. That'll really help me out. Thanks very much to them and the team for sponsoring the stream again. Much appreciated. Thanks to you guys for helping make that happen by watching the stream. Much appreciated. I will catch you next time. More videos. Next video coming out tomorrow, and then streams next week. Until then, good luck, FPL guide, with your channel. Go and follow him or her. I will catch you next time. Cheers.